Welcome to Our Future is Kind, a podcast exploring how we build the future we want to live in, one kind act at a time. I'm your host, Michael Neece, president of Our Future is Kind, and your companion in conversations about kindness, leadership, connection, and courage. Each week, I sit down with thoughtful leaders, creators, and bridge builders to explore what a healthier, more humane future could look like, and the choices it takes to build it. These are honest conversations about purpose, culture, curiosity, and what it really means to show up for one another at work, in our communities, and in everyday life. Along the way, we'll unearth practical ideas, small but meaningful acts, and questions worth sitting with, because building what's next is a choice. So let's dive in. Goldberg is an energy healer, trauma-informed coach specializing in inner child work, embodiment, and soul-level transformation. She practices energy healing from the lineage of King Solomon through the modern mystery school, where she has trained in ancient modalities designed to ignite the light within and reconnect you to your higher purpose. Julie Goldberg, welcome back to Our Future's Kind.
Thank you, Michael. I'm excited to be back.
I'm so happy that you were here again. Catch us up. What has happened in your life since the last time we spoke back in June of 2025?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that feels like 100 years ago. Well, I was in this co-authored book called Joy Unleashed, which I see behind you.
Yeah.
Right there. We were in it together. Here's mine. We wrote this thing. We promoted it. We got it out into the world. That was such an exciting and fun process to do together with a whole bunch of other awesome people. And then from that, our awesome publisher, Laura, asked me to do my own co-authored book called Unleash Yourself, The Ultimate Guide to Becoming You. So now I am the lead author of that book, and I'm going through the process of assembling the co-author team, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
I am finding amazing humans to be a part of this book who all lead through their heart and do something that either helps people heal or helps them express themselves in the world, express their individual gifts and their authenticity. So those people could come from a whole wide range of modalities, but that's who I'm looking for to be in this book. People who really want to lead with that love and heart-centered energy in helping others to express and unleash themselves. So one of my awesome co-authors is Michael Neece, who's right here.
Yes, and I cannot wait.
Yeah,
it is going to be so exciting. Yeah.
I have to have Michael Neece write about kindness and why kindness matters for unleashing yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. But let's take a couple steps back.
Yeah.
So Joy Unleashed, our lead author, we should give her a quick shout out, Sherry
Yes.
Elise. Yay.
Yay, Sherry. Yes.
Sherry Elise is known as America's joy magnet for obvious reasons that every time you talk to her, you feel filled with joy. So, and what was it like to write your chapter in that book?
Yeah, I loved the process. It's my first time being published as an author. So it was great to have a team around me for that and to have such great guidance from Sherry and Laura. I wrote about inner child work and inner child healing mostly. And so it was cool to get really clear about what that is and how I do it with people in writing. And I feel like through that process, I can now express better the type of work that I do with my clients. And so, it was so exciting. And I just got such great feedback from people who read the book that it had a positive impact on their lives. And that was really the whole purpose, I think, for Sherry and for all of us in putting it out into the world, is to have a positive impact on people and to support them in having more joy.
Yeah, I always think of, whenever I'm writing or reading, I always think of this great Carl Sagan quote: "What an astonishing thing a book is. It's a flat object made from trees with flexible parts on which are imprinted lots of funny dark squiggles. But one glance at it, and you're inside the mind of another person, maybe somebody dead for thousands of years. Across the millennia, an author is speaking clearly and silently inside your head, directly to you. Writing is perhaps the greatest of human inventions, binding other people together who never knew each other, citizens of distant epochs. Books break the shackles of time. A book is proof that humans are capable of working magic."
Do you have that memorized, Michael?
I don't. I have it on another screen.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say that's impressive.
Yeah, well, but Carl Sagan says it so poetically.
He really does.
The words that you put into your chapter in Joy Unleashed, in 100 years, in 1,000 years, people will be able to reach back to those words. And they will be able to reach back to your original wisdom as if you're in the room sitting there with them, giving them some coaching.
That is a magical thing about books and writing and putting writing out into the world, is that it can stay there. Yeah.
So is that what drove you to think about writing your own book, Unleash Yourself?
You know, there was a few different factors. One was that Laura asked me, and I just have so much love and respect for Laura and Brave Healers, that was just an exciting thing to be asked to team up to do this thing. And then I thought, okay, well, if I was going to do this, why would I want to do it? What kind of impact do I want to have? And then I got excited about having the team and the whole, because as Laura calls them, they're book projects. So it's not just the book. There's all these other aspects. Like we do interviews, and I got excited about finally launching a podcast. I wanted a podcast since before podcasts were a big deal. Like it's been probably close to 10 years. So I'm co-launching a podcast called Unleash Yourself with the book, which is part of the greater book project. But yeah, I was just thinking like all of the positive things that could come with this in the process of its creation. So yeah, and then I do love the idea of having something finished and polished and beautiful to put out into the world that can be a piece of all of us, like a piece of legacy for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful thing. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Well, like you, I am writing my own multi-author book, and you are one of my co-authors. You're writing a chapter in my book, which is called Our Future is Kind, which everybody who listens to this program knows that's the name of the podcast. I think it's great that you are launching a podcast called Unleash Yourself, along with your book that is also titled Unleash Yourself.
Unleash Yourself.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I was just going to say, the other thing I love about these books is that they're guidebooks. So mine's going to be, the subtitle's The Ultimate Guide to Becoming You. So it's going to be all of these aspects of self, and it's a guidebook. So you could pick out any chapter and just read it, and then you could pick out another chapter and read it. And they don't have to be read in order, which I think is cool. I mean, you could, but you don't have to. So yeah, what's your subtitle, Michael?
So it's Our Future is Kind, The Ultimate Guide to Making a Difference. And yeah, and having these 25 people, right? I always joke with anybody that I'm talking to about my upcoming book. Yeah, it's me and my 24 new best friends. Yeah. And it really feels like it's like I'm finding my tribe as I'm building this book. And we're building this huge network, which is, growing on top of itself. So with Unleash Yourself, you are finding those people. I mean, I'm in the book, but there's, a couple of other friends that you have in the book, but there are also people you haven't met yet that you are going to bring into this book. Yes. Talk about that search, about finding those other co-authors.
That is one of the biggest, I think, positives that has come out of meeting and working with Laura, is just the massive network expansion. So just being in her community, she's got a huge network. She's introduced me to so many people. I've met them through the workshops she does, the networking events she does online. And then taking this project on is even a bigger network expansion, because I'm going on LinkedIn and I'm messaging people and talking to them about the book and talking to them just about what are they doing. And it's been so cool because I've had some conversations with people who maybe weren't the best fit for the book, but they've scheduled me to be on their podcast, or they've said, I know somebody, and they've sent me to somebody else. Or they've said, let me know when it comes out. I want to buy it. And so it's just been so cool to meet all these amazing professionals who do all these beautiful, beautiful things in the world. And I actually find it so uplifting, especially in our current climate of Earth, let's call it.
Yes.
That there's all these people trying so hard and doing such great work to make this place better. And I find that so deeply inspiring. And I know that there's thousands of them that I haven't met yet that are out there that are doing great work, trying to make this place better. So yeah, I think the unexpected connections and unexpected potential partnerships, that's been one of the most exciting parts of this book project. Yeah. And you had talked to me about that. Michael is my friend. I love him outside of being professionally connected. But I know. And you were telling me, because we talk a lot about our book processes together since we're building these teams at the same time. You were telling me that you're finding all these people that are kindness specific specialists in different ways, and that you're finding your tribe that you didn't know they were out there.
Yeah.
That's so
I knew a few
cool.
people, but it's like, this person should have been my friend years ago, and we should have been
Exactly.
longtime friends, but now they are my friends, and that's great.
That is so cool. Yeah, a lot of what I am working towards with clients and in the classes that I teach is joy. And I didn't know that there was somebody who was America's joy magnet. I didn't know Sherry was out there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a cool thing. There's all these people with all these amazing areas of expertise, and we're meeting more and more of them as we are finding the right co-authors for this book. And also connecting with the co-authors from Joy Unleashed. I mean, it was kind of a whirlwind experience, so I didn't get to connect with all 25 during it, but I've connected with some of them after, and wow, these are cool people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know that you've got Michelle who's joining your book, and then
Yes,
I've got
Michelle.
Sherry. Yeah, I've got Sherry. She's joining my book, and yeah, it's really fun having those connections. So anybody who's listening in right now is like, wow, they're really nerding out on the process of writing books, and that is cool, and I think we should.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to say, what about all these readers? I mean, they're going to pick up, I mean, imagine it is September. And somebody pulls your book off the shelf, they buy it off of Amazon, they find you at a book signing and they get you to sign it. They're going to go home and sit down and read it in a cozy little spot. What do you hope they come away with? What's the big change you hope that they find, or what's the transformation that they undergo by grabbing your book and digging in?
Yeah. I want them to read stories of people becoming their truest self and having the courage and the strength and the inspiration to do that. And I want them to relate to these stories that these people are going to tell about their lives, and then find that courage and inspiration within themselves to make, even if it's one little change, maybe it's a huge change, but some change in their life to be more authentically them, to bring their gifts and their positivity into the world.
So each author in your book is giving little strategies for how to do that, or?
Yeah, so the structure of the chapters, there's going to be a story where they talk about a personal story from their lives that was meaningful, that has to do with how they unleashed themselves. And then they talk about the way that they help people, and they give the reader something to do. So there's actually like a tool or a method in there that people can try out and get a little taste of for themselves. So it's kind of a cool structure in that way, because you get to know the person and hear something personal and vulnerable about their lived experience. And then you get to get a little bit of their work right there in the book. Yeah. So that's the basic, how the chapters are structured. But yeah, I'm hoping that, and because the book is about unleashing yourself, that each person that reads it opens up a little part of them that maybe has been blocked or stuck, and is able to bring that out more and express it and be more authentic, more expressive, more open-hearted, more giving, more loving, more creative. And that maybe they go do finally that big thing that they've been wanting to do, but they've been too scared or too stuck.
Yeah. So everybody who picks up a copy of this book is basically picking up 25 new secrets on how to get unblocked, unstuck, to really become who they should be. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, and to stop letting whatever's stopping them stop them. Get it out of the way. Like, decide that it doesn't matter as much as them doing their mission, finding their purpose, being whatever they've always wanted to be.
So you don't have to give all the spoilers, but what kinds of stories are you thinking of sharing, or have you heard some of your co-authors are going to share?
Ooh, Michael.
Just a hint, just a taste.
Yeah. What do I want to say about this? I'm going to really think carefully, because I don't know if I want to expose too much about what I'm going to write about, because I haven't written it yet. So there's always possibility it could change. But I kind of download a lot of what I write and what I teach and stuff. So this could change, but I am going to talk about the complexity of my identity spiritually, and how it becoming in the fullness of where I am spiritually took breaking myself out of a lot of boxes. And what else do I want to say about that? Yeah, that the way that I exist spiritually is outside of any religion or particular tradition. And it took some unleashing myself in that area to allow for that to be true for me, that bigness, and to become really the energy healer that I am now. I had to unleash my truth, really, when it came to my spiritual experience beyond the culture and religion I was born into or anything else I had experienced. So yeah, it's going to be super stretchy and vulnerable to write about that, put it out into the world, and have my whole family read it. But I'm going to do it, I think.
Okay, well, you're leading us all in this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about some spiritual experiences from that perspective of really outside the box of what people are used to hearing about about religions, whether they're in them or not. But like, I'll be talking about some beings in maybe a way that they've never heard.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to contribute a chapter to this book.
Yeah, and I can't quite bring to mind any specific stories that people are going to tell, but I do remember on these calls I've been having with people, because I have at least 1 to 2 calls to really make sure it's a good fit before I bring people on. Very personal, very deep, meaningful stories that these people want to tell about their lives. Even if they're like a brand strategist or a marketing specialist, like the personal stories are very heart touching and very raw and vulnerable and beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what really grounds these kinds of books, you flip it open to chapter 7, you flip it over to chapter 19. That might be the one that speaks to you. That might be the one that grabs you, and by the end of it, you're crying, or you're feeling so inspired that you go outside and you let the sunlight hit your face, and you're ready for life.
Yeah, you know what I was just thinking? It's kind of like if people like tarot, or they like kind of like inspiration cards, and you kind of like fan them out and you pick one. It's kind of like that, but it's a book.
Right. Yeah.
Just like, close your eyes, open to a page, and see what's there.
As my middle daughter says, I am very food motivated. So I like to think of it as a Whitman's chocolate sampler, right?
Yeah,
so
it's like a big thing of chocolate.
Yeah, and there's going to be something in there that's like the best, and there's going to be something in there that's like, ooh, that's new, and I didn't know that existed, and that's wonderful.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Well. And I think another cool thing about the way this is structured with the story part is a lot of people have beautiful marketing for their businesses, and they have these, put together websites, and they might have these really nice ads with these really nice pictures, and they might have, videos of them that are, whatever. And that's what you see of them online. And it's not that it's inauthentic, but it's very polished and it's professional, and that's great. But this is a window into someone's real personal experience and life. And so you can get to know them as a more multidimensional being in that way.
So here's a follow-up question for that. What happens if somebody really gets excited about a chapter that Michelle writes, or a chapter that one of your other co-authors writes? Is there a way for them to find out more about that specific co-author and in their orbit?
Yeah. So another amazing thing about this book is that we get a full page bio. So you're going to get to read all about that person at the end of their chapter. And then there are links that are there that will link to whatever they want you to link to. So it might be their website, or an offer that they have, or a free gift. Cool. Yeah, basically all the things about them will be linked right there. And if you buy the Kindle, you just click the link. And if you buy the physical copy, I guess you copy the link into the thingy. Right. But yeah, so there will be info on that person right there at the back of their chapter.
It's wonderful. So it means that the book, when somebody buys it, they get the 25 secrets about how to unleash themselves. But it's not just 25, because then they can even go further with each of the different co-authors and find more. And
a lot of these people are offering awesome free things at the back of their chapter. So you might get some meditations, or some strategies, or a quiz, or there's all kinds of fun things that people are offering.
That's wonderful.
With their chapter. So, and then when you find them, maybe they have a podcast, or maybe they have something awesome that they offer the world for free or paid. And so, yeah, it's a connection to this big group of leaders and healers.
And that's wonderful, because who knows, in your next book project, one of your readers might become one of your co-authors. So
yeah.
Fun stuff.
Stuff. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your book, Michael. Why are you writing this book, or why are you leading this book?
Yeah, well, Our Future is Kind is what I think about when I wake up. It's what I think about throughout the day. It's what I think about before I go to bed. It's the idea that we will one day be gone. We will one day not be here. And what we've left behind for the rest of humanity is really what matters. Mm-hmm. And it's not buildings with, the name Julie Goldberg or Michael Neece. It's not buildings like that. It's not even the books necessarily. It's how did we shape society? How did we help build a future that we want to live in, so that our great, great, great grandchildren are madly in love with being alive, that they have so much opportunity and they're supported and they have resources for their health and they have resources for learning and they have resources for travel, and people feel like a win for anyone is a win for everyone. And that's what gets me out of bed every morning, and that's the kind of spirit I want in the book. So you and other co-authors who've joined Our Future is Kind, the book, I'm just really excited because we're defining what we think the future could look like in a best case scenario, and we are seizing our power, we are finding our agency, and we are owning it. And then we are building that better future.
I'm so excited hearing you talk about that.
Yeah, well, I think it is so easy to be turned into people who feel like we don't have any ownership, we don't have any ability to affect anything. If you turn on the news, you feel immediately overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like that. I want them to read your chapter and go, holy cow, there's this thing I can do and it'll help make the world a better place to live in. Yeah. I'm going to reach out to Julie, and they're going to flip to another chapter and say, Brian Biro, wow, what a great chapter. And that's what I want them to do, is say, I have power in this world, and I can fill the world with that positive energy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Michael, that gives me chills. That is so in alignment with the energy work that I do, actually. So yeah, you mentioned at the beginning I study in the Modern Mystery School, and the whole mission of the Mystery School is to bring Shambhala to the planet, which is literally what you just described, which is a better future, a better world, a peaceful world, a place where people can fully express themselves and feel safe and secure and have everything they need. And just what you said about like our great-great-grandchildren just loving being alive, that is what the Mystery School is trying to create here on the planet, via energy healing and teaching people about hermetics and metaphysics and themselves as a spiritual being. And it's that empowerment. That's why we do it. It's to empower people to know that they matter and can make a difference. That's the whole mission.
It's wonderful. Well, that's why you're my co-author. And by the end of this year, we will be co-authors times 3.
I know.
It's crazy. So when you are trying to spread the word, you're trying to get people to know about your book. Mm-hmm. Are you going on book tour? Are you going to book signings? Are you going to be running workshops and distributing this as part of those? Like, how are you using the book once it's out?
Yeah, so our launch date is September 1st of this year, 2026. And to be honest with you, I haven't planned any of that. And the reason for that is that I'm still getting my authors together. So I'm very focused on that. So the stage I'm in right now, I'll just tell you where I'm at. The stage I'm in right now, I am looking for 15 more aligned co-authors. I've got 10 awesome people lined up. So I'm looking for people who want to become published authors, or maybe they already are and they want to expand the repertoire of the things they've written. And they are generally people who own their own business, not always, but usually, and want to utilize this to support the growth of their business and their mission. And so people who are like that and who are also open to helping us with getting the book out there to more readers, those would be great people. So they gotta want to be a writer or already be a writer, own a business, or have a big mission that they want to talk about, and then be willing to promote it and get it out there. And so I do have specific categories of types of people I'm looking for, but I'm also open-minded to maybe something I don't know that I want in the book. And so I'm really focused on that. I'm starting to lay the groundwork for the podcast and getting The co-authors are going to be my first people interviewed on the podcast, which is exciting. And then getting the other pieces of the book assembled, like who's going to write the foreword and the people who are going to be reviewers, early reviewers and things like that. So once that is more far along, once I've written the parts that I get to write for the book, which are, I'm writing a chapter just like everybody else, but also the intro and the conclusion. Once I've done all that, then I'm going to think about book tours and workshops and different things, but I'm sure I will do a combination of a whole bunch of things. And one of the cool things about this is that you can go to the city or town that your co-authors live in, since we live in all different places in the country and sometimes the world. With this, we had people in different countries and Enjoy Unleashed. So you can go to those places and do collaborations with people, book signings, workshops, things in person. There might be some online workshops, but yeah, stay tuned because there's going to be cool stuff coming down the pipe. That all is probably going to be in fall, winter of this year into next year. So first we have to find all the great, amazing people.
Well, and let's peel back a little bit of the process for our listeners. You mentioned that Joy Unleashed was the first published work that you have done.
Yes.
It can sound really intimidating. The idea of like, oh, I have to write something and it's going to be out there for the world to see. Mm-hmm. How hard was it? How did they make sure that you had the right amount of support? And I'm going to reveal to everybody that your chapter is absolutely one of my favorite chapters in the book. I think you write incredibly well.
Thank
but did
you.
It start that way, and how did it get that way?
Yeah. Well, Laura DeFranco is an amazing human, and she's created this company called Brave Healer Productions, which is our publisher. And she's created this structure that you put your writing into, which is, she has a specific way she coaches the story and the method or the tool. And so I found that super supportive because we got coaching from her. She had question and answer sessions during the writing process. She's there. If you email her, she's there. You text her, she's there. So she was super supportive for that. So I felt like that I always had somebody I could ask if I didn't know, or get an opinion on, do you like this subtitle? Do you like this subtitle? Is this a good hook to start the chapter with? She was just there for that. And so was Sherry. So I feel like we both had a great example of how to be a great lead author in terms of that support.
Absolutely.
So you've got two people there for you. So that's helpful. And then part of what she coached us into was, once we had a good solid rough draft, to do reading that out loud to another co-author and helping that person edit and helping that person refine their ideas. And I was fortunate enough to do that with you. So we went through and we did like maybe 3 rounds of that together. And we asked each other questions about like, well, what did you mean by this? Or can we clarify that? And we really, I think that really helped distill what I was saying and the message I was trying to get out there. And then Laura's team does an amazing job of edits. So we did 3 rounds of edits. And by the time we were done with that, it was pretty like, I don't know. I don't think there's any, I have never seen a typo in this book, which there are books published by like Penguin that have typos. So I've never seen a typo or a mistake so far in this book.
Yeah, the writing is very high quality, and even though everybody has a different style, you think, wow, that was really well put together, and I followed it, and I got it, and in fact, now I feel really moved by it, which I think is always the goal, right?
Yeah, and I think that Laura's structure that she's created for the way these chapters are written, there is enough structure to feel supported and have direction, but there's also plenty of space for personal expression. And I really appreciated that balance, and I feel like that helped me be really successful in creating this chapter. Because I feel like, yeah, I had the space to really write about whatever was on my heart that I wanted to express to the world, but within a structure that was organized and supported. And yeah, I just felt super supported, honestly.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yes, I loved that experience so much that obviously I've signed on to do the lead authorship as well. So yeah, there's some magic that I think that Laura DeFranco pulls out.
For sure. Yeah. What did you think of the, I know you've written lots of stuff, Michael, but what was it like for you to write that chapter?
It was, I already had a story in mind that I was going to run with, and I had a very interesting 2025. And so putting a lot of my challenges that were in there and how I was able to employ some kindness practices in order to just continue to find joy and to be successful, to be effective in the world, and to live my truth. So writing the chapter, it was really fun putting it together because it wasn't so much that I was writing an entire book that was 90,000 words. It was 2,500 words, maybe 3,000, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then reading it out loud to you and having you read yours out loud to me, I thought it was a really fun way of making it better and making sure that I was really clear on points.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fun. I have to say it was also really a lot less expensive than when I've been self-published or when I went through a publishing house with a really good distributor as well. And in both of the cases where it's self-published or through a publisher, it cost me so much money to get my book out into the world. And this cost almost nothing by comparison.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was also part of my experience, was just like, this is the third major thing that I've put out in the world, Joy Unleashed, right?
Yeah.
And it did not break the bank. And I've gotten at least one speaking gig out of it. Somebody read my chapter and said, hey, we should look this guy up. He'd be a great speaker for our next big event. And so I've already made back my investment in the book. So that was also really neat.
Yeah. Laura often says if you get 1 or 2 clients, that usually covers it, more than covers it for some people.
And it's really cool that my words are in there alongside yours, alongside Sherry's, alongside Michelle's and Jeannie and everybody else's, Lulu and everyone. And it feels like it's a cohesive work, but it's also 25 different sections that all fit together. So I really love that my words are out there, and hopefully people will find them and get some sort of inspiration from it.
Yeah. And like you said, I feel the same way. I feel like it was financially manageable, and it was manageable to write 2,500, 3,000 words. It's not a whole lot. If you wrote essays in school, it's, might be shorter than the essays you had to write. I had to write 10-page essays. That's for some of my college classes. This is less than that.
Right.
So I think for a first experience, it was awesome in that way, because I didn't have to write a whole book and I didn't have to pay to create a whole book. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, go ahead.
So I'm thinking it's, unless you have something else that you want to get out there to the world so that they can hear, I want to shift gears into the standard structure of Our Future is Kind for just a couple of minutes.
Please.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, Julie Goldberg, we're getting into a time machine. We're going forward 100 years. It is now 2126.
Okay.
21, 26.
Yeah.
So add 100 to your age, everybody who's listening in, add 100. Wow. It's going to be maybe your grandkids or your great grandkids are going to be the old people in this scenario.
Well,
right?
if I'm 136, maybe not. Let's see.
If you're 136 and you're having kids and today, add 100 to it, they're going to be the old ones. So even somebody who is...
I'm trying to relate this out. Let's say I have kids when I'm 40, and then they have kids when they're 40.
Sure.
40, 80, 120.
Yeah.
Right? So your grandkids are like 40, is that right? Or 50?
Sure, somewhere in that range. Okay. But according to you, that's old.
So grandkids...
We're just putting that out there.
Aging is weird. Grandkids are like 50, so great-grandkids are like... maybe in their 20s or something.
Sure. Yeah. So they're just going through college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine we're in this time machine. It's 100 years in the future. And I say, Julie Goldberg, we did all the right things. We made the earth the best that we could. We made society the best that we could. Art, music, anything you can think of. We did all the right things. Now we open the doors to the time machine and step out. What are you looking for to confirm that I was telling you the truth?
Well, I'd really be looking for a whole bunch of multidimensional aspects. Do you want me to tell you about them?
Tell me. Yeah.
So the first thing I'd be looking for is like, where are we? Are we in like a city, a town? I'd be looking for how clean is this place? I don't want to see any homeless people. I want to see people, I want the base standard of living elevated. So I want everybody to have enough food. Everybody's got clothes. Everybody's got a place to live. Everybody's got standard medical care. So at the very base of society, everybody has that in this future. And through that, people are able to live and express their gifts in the world. And that might still mean that some people make more money than others, but everybody is safe and secure enough that they can pursue their true heart's calling and mission. So that's what I would look for. Are people fulfilled? Are they doing their authentic calling in life? So yeah, I'd be looking at the quality of the place. Like, is this place clean? Is it well organized? Does it function well, whether it's like a city or a town? Is it safe? I'd be looking for no crime. I'd be looking for, yeah, no violence, no crime. And I'd be wanting to talk to people and talk to them about their lives. How fulfilled are they? How joyful are they? I'm hoping that energy healing is just a normal part of healthcare at this point.
Right.
That we've kind of merged all of the stuff that works for human health, and that is how we take care of humans on the planet at this point. And let's see, I would also look, given where we are now, and 100 years from now, I would look for a world where artificial intelligence is helping us and not hurting us. So I'd want to see that we had used AI for its highest capacity for good, and that people were still fully sovereign and safe, and that nothing weird or bad had happened with AI. So we want to look for good things with that. And technology, just that we had utilized technology in all areas for the betterment of society and for the betterment of people. Yeah, in all areas, whether it was like, surgeries, medical. Hopefully we could like create organs in a lab that worked in people's bodies if they needed an organ transplant. Like, I'd want to see things like that happening. Cool innovations. I would hope, I know that you love space, Michael, but I would hope that we had made cool advancements in things having to do with space and travel and yeah, just all areas, the arts. I would love to see, as someone who comes from a background as an artist and has a dance major, I would love to see a world where the arts are valued and supported. So I would love to see artists thriving and not impoverished and empowered and creating works that matter and create beauty and harmony and conversation and that have important messages, just existing as a part of society and being supported financially and otherwise. So yeah, a world where the arts matter and everyone knows that would be cool. And yeah, people are healthy, thriving, healthy, and that we found a way to merge. I think this is one of the biggest issues we're dealing with right now, is merging a world with technology with a world where we have community and community is strong. So I would want to see in 100 years that they had integrated kind of like our need for tribe and community with technology. So we're not seeing people kind of like isolated on their phones like this anymore. We've learned how to integrate those things. So people are more balanced in that way. And yeah, I would want to see that people were kind to each other. They're not cutting each other off in traffic. They're not cursing at each other. They're kind.
Yeah.
Just walking down the street to strangers. I think if I saw all of that, I would just be amazed, impressed. I would want to hug everybody. Just be like, yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here's the $1 million follow-up question. You kind of answered bits of it, but I want to hear the explicit answer.
Yeah.
I told you we did all the right things to make that future.
Yeah.
What are those right things?
Yeah, I think there's a few really big ones. One is that we help everybody who's here now who has trauma, which is a lot of us, heal the trauma. Because we can't pass the trauma on. Otherwise, we can't get there. So we got to be the cycle breakers and heal the trauma and create better futures for our kids in that way. Like each family, each couple, each person having a child needs to heal so that they can pass on something better. And I think we need to do that rather rapidly. I think all parents try to do that, and that historically people have tried to do that, but we need to do it like turbo now, people. Yeah. So I think that's a big one, is just helping people heal the trauma of the world. And if we do that as a collective, I think we will stop war, honestly. Yeah. But we got to find a way as a planet and as a collective to stop war. That's a big one. So in order to build beauty, we need to stop blowing things up, and we need to stop blowing each other up. Yeah. So that's like, how are we going to do that? I'm not exactly sure, but I think the less traumatized we are, the less that will be occurring on the planet. So I think those things are interconnected. Let's see, there was one other big one. Oh yeah, and then to make sure that technology is used in a way that is in integrity with goodness. So we are staying in control of the technology, and we are utilizing it and channeling it towards a higher and better future, and not allowing it to degrade our minds or create anything that isn't good in the world. or gain power or what. I just can't do any of that. We can't do that. So I think if we do, let's see. So we heal trauma, we stop blowing each other up, we direct technology towards the good. And then once we've got kind of a good foundation, which is maybe like halfway between then and now, good foundation, then we can start uplifting people and encouraging their growth, helping them get the education they need, the training to do their mission and purpose, to celebrate things, to bring more goodness. Yeah, I see people like, this is already happening, but returning to growing their own food and gardening and having beauty in that way and going to the farmer's market and having really healthy food and going to performances and art shows and just celebrating all the different areas of human life that people are doing awesome stuff in. So I think once we have the foundation of like, we've stopped wars and we've stopped massive, horrible trauma and poverty and stuff, then we go up from there and we bring in, just operating at a higher level as a person is possible because it's supported by society.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I can imagine that the experience of being in the human body and being in the physical world would just be like fun. It would be like, oh, we're here to have fun. We're here to experience joy. We're here to make it even better, and love each other. And what can we create together if we're working as a team? Like, that kind of higher level energies.
Well, I can't wait to read your chapter in Our Future is Kind, because I want to live in your future, and I love the means by which you think we should build it. I think all of that is so cool.
Yeah, I don't want to be like prying, but I would love to know how you think we should get there. And I'm excited for your chapter in my book.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I think the future should look like Star Trek. I mean, the people who are honored are the ones who are showing up in good faith. Mm-hmm. They're the ones who are hardworking. They're curious. They are interesting and know a lot of stuff. Yeah. They're sensitive to anybody else who shows up, and they try to hear what the obstacles are, what the problems are, and they're responsive. And so my hope is that the people who are well educated and who are trying and who are curious and mutually supportive, that those are the people who are honored, and those are the people who are absolutely lifted up. And everybody else who isn't showing up like that, they're shown that is a great way to gain things and to feel fulfilled. And so how do we build that future? Well, I mean, other than transporters and starships and all that kind of stuff, which would be really, really cool, and weapons that can go on stun that don't kill people, that would be amazing right now, especially. Like, if you claim that you really value life, then there should be a way of not harming other people permanently. So we
do have that, but
we do, and nobody wants to employ it. We have non-lethals, and police officers are not armed with that as a standard. The standard is with something that is lethal, and that's and all the bad guys, they have all these things too because we keep producing them. But that's a digression. I think the way that we build it, I love the fact that you talk about people being healed from their trauma. I mean, you can almost open, like any website that has news in it and look at the different leaders that are the most destructive, that are the most angry and unhappy. And you can almost read like, oh my gosh, look at all the trauma you must have gone through as a kid.
Yeah.
Nobody ever told you that you matter, or that they love you, or that they see you as valuable and important and special and worthy of love, regardless of what you're doing. And man, if they'd just heard that a bunch of times from one trusted adult, man, this world would get cleaned up awfully fast, right?
Yeah. Part of what I do is inner child work, and it's so true.
Yeah.
I'm in this is like a little sidebar, but I think it's relevant. I'm in this training right now. I'm doing NARM, which is neuroaffective relational model. And we talk about shame not as an emotion, but as a process, which I think is fascinating. And it's a process of kids being in harmful environments or experiencing what they call environmental failure. So whether that was like neglect, abuse, whatever it was, like misattunement, that shame is when a child feels bad and they because it's unsafe for them to think like my caregiver is inadequate or my caregiver is mean or whatever it is, they turn it in on themselves and they say, if I feel bad, I must be bad. And so shame is the process of that being created over repetition and time. And so if you can create that over repetition and time where you turn badness in on yourself, if you could just, even as an adult, hear a few times, multiple times, that I'm a good person and I can do good, and like all the things you were saying, I'm loved and all of that, you can undo that process of shame.
Right. Right.
And if people could, it's almost like untying a bunch of knots. Realize that that was never true, and it was created through a process of survival in a child mind, the mind of a child, which is not fully developed. Then you can untie all those knots, and you can have self-worth and self-love. And generally people that have those things don't act like that.
Right. Well, what you said just brought to mind the comments section of a lot of places on the internet where people are trolling and being super unkind. And the proper response isn't, well, you're stinky too. Right. Right. That's not the proper response. I don't know that we have time to just take every single person under our wing and make them heal in that moment. But the proper response is, oh man, they're really going through it. They're really having a hard time because they put that comment on this person's page, and this person was talking about kittens, and this person's like, kittens are evil. I hate kittens. They're all ugly, or whatever it is, right? They have some sort of hateful, angry message, and you're just kind of like, oh man, they're having a hard time.
Really hurt, yeah.
There's something that's hurting in this person.
Exactly.
That makes them lash out at this strong leader who is female, or at this person who is gay, or at whatever it is. They're angry, and the proper response isn't to say, well, you're pea brain and all of that, because that just adds to their shame. It just makes them feel, reinforced in that behavior, and that's not the way to do it. So we could definitely just cure all the ills if we just kept this one podcast episode going and just talked through it all.
Yeah, I think a process that I try to do as much as I can, if someone like cuts me off in traffic or gives me a dirty look or like comments something weird on something I post, is I just like try to take a breath, and then I say, I hope they heal.
Yeah.
I really do. I just hope they heal.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we're putting that kind of positivity out into our collective consciousness.
Right. And it's not Pollyanna-ish or putting on a set of rose-tinted glasses.
Right.
People are still going to be mean to us. That happens.
Yeah.
And there are people who aren't going to give it up.
And sorry, finish what you're saying. It reminded me of something you said before that I wanted to bring back.
Yeah, I think knowing that we can reach for kindness doesn't mean that we always try to be kind to the point where we're just taking blows to the chin over and over again.
I'm so glad you're saying that, because that's kind of what I wanted to bring back.
Yeah.
When you were describing the future that you want, you said the people who are honored. And that kind of indicated to me that there actually does have to be boundaries for this to work. And there does have to be lines drawn in the sand. And there are things we're going to have to say no to as a society. Like, we don't tolerate this anymore.
Right.
That's going to be an important part of it, I think, is to say, like, almost like you would if you were raising a healthy child. You might say, like, we don't hit people.
Right.
That's a line. And I think we need that in our society. We need lines around goodness.
Yes.
And what we tolerate and what we don't tolerate in terms of behavior.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you said it in our last podcast that kindness is not weak. Kindness can be a firm no. And I've always just loved that you said it basically like that. I think it's
kindness is not the same as niceness. And I think that that's particularly important for women, but all people who are kind of conditioned into being nice. Like nice can be really inauthentic. And it can be really kind of like you said, just like taking blows and like too soft and not enough. Like, people have boundaries when they're nice. They're just not saying them.
Right. Yeah.
They're just not asserting them. And then, all kinds of weird stuff happens, like resentment and things coming out sideways and passive aggressiveness. And so that's not what's going to build the future that we want to build. We need clarity and we need honesty. And
part of it is kindness to self, right? Because if you are just taking it on the chin a lot, you're not being kind to yourself. You're not valuing your own person if you're just letting people walk all over you. So kindness has to involve that balance between, okay, this person is taking a swing at me. How do I just avoid that swing? How do I get out of the way?
Well, you're a martial artist, so you've studied this in depth.
Oh yeah, it's physical chess. It's how do I not arrive where the blow is arriving, right? So all right, we are unfortunately just gonna have to call it pretty soon here because we could talk all day. For those of you who are listening in, Julie Goldberg and I have been friends for only a little more than a year, but it feels like we've known each other for decades.
Yeah.
So what are your next steps in trying to get this book out there, the Unleash Yourself book that you are creating?
Yeah, so my deadline to have all these people assembled is April 28th of this year, 2026. So my number one first project is find the best, most amazing, awesome co-authors. So that's really the big thing I'm focused on in this stage of the creation of this project.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And then it's writing the book. And then when does it come out? What's the publication?
Yeah, then we're going to write and go through edits. And then the publication is going to be tentatively September 1st, 2026.
September 1st. All right. Very exciting. Very exciting. All right. Anything else that you wanted to share about the book or the impact or anything else?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give you a link for my calendar. If people are listening to this and they're thinking, wow, I'd really love to be a part of this book. Like, I'd really love to be a co-author. I want to meet those people.
Okay.
And so I can give you a link to book a connection call with me. If that is you, I'd love to meet you. Or if you just want to learn more about it, or if you have a podcast and you want to talk about it, anything like that, you can connect with me through the link I'm going to leave for Michael. This is my second time on your show, and I just love the style of podcasts, and especially conversational podcasts. So I'm really excited to launch mine. Yeah. That's going to be probably part 2, alongside with the writing process, is getting the podcast into the world. So really excited about that. And so I am going to be interviewing all these amazing people who are my co-authors, but I'm also interested in interviewing all kinds of other people. And I have a feeling this thing is just going to explode, and I'm going to be recording a lot and putting out a lot. So if that's you, if you're like, I want to be on a podcast about unleashing your authentic truth and leading your life from your heart and healing, if any of that is related to what you do and you want to be on my podcast also, you can connect with me. I'll give Michael a few ways to connect. So we'll have a connection call link and then maybe my email or something like that. So you can reach out to me and we can talk about it, because I want to line people up to get on the show. Michael, when does your book come out?
My book comes out November 17th, just in time for people to go off to Thanksgiving and show off their copies, and then buy a whole bunch of gifts on Black Friday. So they'll be ready in December to do a lot of gift giving with hopefully both of our books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they would make an awesome bundle, and the 3 of them with Joy Unleashed would make an awesome bundle of books.
That's right.
Really special gift.
And then invite us to your city, to your favorite indie bookstore, and maybe we can do a book signing there. That'll be really fun. Yeah. So Julie Goldberg, thank you so much for appearing on Our Future is Kind.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I love being here with you.
Love having you. This episode's Kindness Challenge. This week, when someone cuts you off, posts something angry, or seems unkind, pause, take a breath, and silently wish them healing. Repeat this practice each time you feel reactive. Notice the shift in your own energy. Want to stay inspired so you can stay kind? Julie stays inspired by actively seeking out people doing good work in the world, especially through unexpected connections. Reach out to one new person doing meaningful work in your field or in your community. Follow healers, coaches, or heart-led professionals on LinkedIn who energize you. Say yes to conversations with people who may not be a perfect fit. The connection itself is the gift. You've been listening to Our Future is Kind podcast, where building what's next is a choice. Make your next choice a good one and help build the future we want to live in.